There are roads that stretch so far. They stop feeling like roads. They feel like something else, something older, something that doesn't care if you make it to the end. Truck drivers know this feeling. They live inside it. Night after night, mile after mile, with nothing but headlights cutting through darkness that feels too deep. And if you drive long enough, you'll start to notice things. Not animals, not broken down cars, not people who need help. Something else. They're called shoulder walkers. And if you ever see one, don't stop. If you enjoy stories like this, support the channel. Subscribe now, so the next story doesn't pass you by. Years ago, a long-haul trucker used to run a route from Vancouver down to San Francisco. It was a lonely stretch, thousands of miles of asphalt, cutting through forests, empty valleys, forgotten towns, and long, silent highways where radio signals came and went like ghosts. Most nights were predictable: engine humming, tires whispering over pavement, coffee growing cold in a cup holder, the kind of routine that makes your mind drift. That night was no different. It was around 2:13 a.m., the kind of hour where the world feels paused. No cars, no lights, just darkness pressing in from both sides of the road. And then something moved. At first, it didn't make sense. A shape, too still to be an animal, too slow to be a car. As the truck got closer, the headlights stretched across it, revealing a woman. She was walking along the shoulder of the highway, alone in the middle of nowhere, wearing a blue dress, not dirty, not torn, just wrong. She wasn't stumbling. She wasn't signaling for help. She wasn't even looking at the road. She walked like she was on a sidewalk, on a warm afternoon, completely unaware of the massive truck roaring past her. The driver slowed slightly, confused, concerned, but not enough to stop. Not yet. As he passed her, he glanced in the side mirror, and for just a second, he thought she should have reacted. Flinched, turned, something. But she didn't. She kept walking, same pace, same posture, like the truck never existed. The next night, he saw another one, different place, different stretch of road, but the same thing. A man this time, standing at first, then slowly beginning to walk, right along the shoulder, head slightly tilted, arms hanging loose, not signaling, not panicking, just walking. That's when the unease began to settle in. Truckers talk, CB radios carry stories faster than highways carry wheels, and eventually, he heard the term, shoulder walkers. No one knew exactly what they were, but everyone who drove long enough had seen one, or two, or more. And they all said the same thing. They don't need help. The rules came quietly, not written anywhere, not official, just passed from one tired voice to another over static-filled radios. Rule 1, don't stop. Rule 2, don't honk. Rule 3, don't acknowledge them, because once you do, they notice you. At first, he laughed it off. Urban legends, road paranoia, stories built from exhaustion and too much coffee. Until the night, he broke the rules. It was colder that night. Fog hugged the road, thick enough to swallow the edges of the world. Visibility dropped. Everything felt closer, and farther at the same time. And then, there she was. An old woman, walking slowly along the shoulder, wearing what looked like a hospital gown. Thin, fragile, barefoot. Her steps were uneven, shuffling, like every movement cost her something. The driver's grip tightened on the wheel. Something about her felt familiar, not in a comforting way, in the way a memory lingers without details. He slowed down, against better judgment. against every rule he'd heard. He stopped. The engine idled behind him, a low mechanical heartbeat in the silence. He grabbed a flashlight, stepped out into the cold air, and immediately, something felt wrong. Not dangerous, not yet. Just wrong. The kind of wrong you can't explain. The kind that sits in your chest and whispers, "Leave." But he didn't. He called out, "Ma'am, are you okay?" No response. She kept walking, slow, steady, closer. He took a few steps forward, the beam of his flashlight cutting through the fog, landing on her face. That's when he saw it. She was smiling. Not a normal smile, not relief, not recognition. It was wide, too wide, stretched in a way that didn't match her frail body. Her eyes locked onto him, unblinking, empty. Her fingers twitched, small jerking motions, like something was pulling invisible strings. She reached out, slowly, deliberately, step by step, closing the distance. That whisper in his chest turned into something louder now. "Run!" He stepped back. She stepped forward, still smiling, still reaching. Closer, closer, too close. Something snapped. Instinct took over. He turned, ran back to the truck, climbed in, slammed the door, and floored the accelerator. The engine roared. Tires screamed. The truck surged forward, leaving her behind in the fog. Or so he thought. A few miles down the road, his breathing finally began to slow. Hands shaking, eyes locked ahead. Then, his headlights caught something. A figure, walking on the shoulder. Same gown, same slow steps, same smile. He froze. That wasn't possible. He had just left her behind. Miles back. There were no roads she could have taken, no way she could have gotten ahead of him. And yet, there she was. But this time, she wasn't ignoring him. She turned her head, slowly, and looked directly at him. That was the moment everything changed, because now they knew him. Every trip after that, they appeared more often. Different faces, different bodies, men, women, children, standing, walking, waiting. And every single one of them looked directly at him. Every time, no matter how fast he drove, no matter how far he went, they always looked. Truckers still talk about shoulder walkers. Quietly, like saying too much might make them appear. Some believe they're lost souls. Others say they're something else entirely. Something that doesn't belong to the road, but uses it. And if you ever find yourself driving late at night, on a road that feels too empty, and your headlights catch someone walking along the shoulder, don't slow down. Don't stop. Don't speak. Because the moment you acknowledge them, they stop being part of the road and start becoming part of your journey. In the early 2000s, long-haul truckers knew the roads of Pennsylvania could be lonely, especially late at night. One such trucker, tired from hours of driving, was heading toward New Jersey. His plan was simple: haul his load, rest for a few hours, and continue on his journey. He spotted a rest area up ahead. 2 trucks were already parked there, engines humming softly in the distance. With a sigh, he pulled in behind them, unaware that this night would be unlike any other he had ever experienced. Hours passed uneventfully, but as dawn approached, a sound jolted him awake. A sharp, forceful banging on the right side of his truck. Heart racing, he grabbed his bat and peered through the darkened window. Nothing. Not a soul. Moments later, the banging moved to the left. Every nerve in his body screamed danger. Still, no one was there. Then, without warning, both doors were struck simultaneously. The entire truck shook under the force. The sound, louder than any storm, echoed through the metal frame. He could feel it. Whatever it wasn't human, and it wasn't alone. Terrified, he started the engine, and then he noticed something even stranger. The two trucks he had parked behind were doing the exact same thing. Their drivers were reacting to the same invisible threat, all at the same eerie moment. The timing was too precise to be coincidence. Whatever, or whoever, was out there. It had touched every vehicle near every driver, and yet no one stayed to confront it. To this day, our trucker wonders who or what knocked on his doors that night, and why. No one has ever returned to that spot to find out. Some nights leave marks on the soul, some encounters defy explanation, and some roads are haunted by what cannot be seen. No one knows what the faceless knockers want. No one knows why they appear. But everyone who has heard the knocking remembers it forever. It was the kind of night that truck drivers never forget. The kind they don't talk about, unless they have to. Because some roads don't just take you somewhere. They watch you, and sometimes they follow you back. The highway stretched endlessly through rural Kentucky, cutting through miles of darkness like a scar across the land. At exactly 3:02 a.m., a lone semi-truck rumbled down the empty road. Inside the cabin sat a driver, a seasoned hauler, a man who had spent years on highways just like this one. He had seen storms, he had driven through blizzards, he had broken down in the middle of nowhere. But what he was about to experience was something no road could prepare him for. The trailer behind him was loaded with toys, boxes stacked from floor to ceiling, dolls, toy cars, stuffed animals, all headed toward a Costco distribution center. It was supposed to be a simple overnight delivery. In and out. No delays. Christmas season meant tight schedules. No room for mistakes. No room for fear. The road had been clear for hours. No cars, no headlights, no signs of life, just the steady hum of the engine, until something changed. At first, it was subtle. A faint haze creeping across the asphalt. The driver narrowed his eyes. Fog, but not normal fog. This fog was too thick, too sudden. Within seconds, the world disappeared. The headlights bounced uselessly off a wall of white. Visibility dropped. 10 feet. 5 feet. Then nothing. It was like driving into a cloud. Or worse, into something that didn't want him to see. His instincts kicked in. He slowed the truck carefully, then pulled over to the side of the road. The engine idled. The cabin lights glowed softly. Outside, there was nothing. No road, no sky. Just endless white fog pressing against the glass. The world became unnaturally quiet. No wind, no distant traffic, not even insects. It was as if sound itself had been swallowed. The driver shifted in his seat. Something didn't feel right. Then it happened. Without warning, the truck died. The engine cut out. The dashboard went black. The headlights vanished. Everything gone. Inside the cabin, darkness wrapped around him, thick, suffocating. He tried the ignition. Nothing. Again, nothing. The truck was completely dead. He grabbed his phone. No service. Not even a flicker of signal. He reached for the CB radio. Static. Dead silence. He was alone. Completely alone. And then he heard it. Soft. Faint. Almost impossible to notice. A sound drifting through the fog. Crying. At first it sounded like a child. A small voice. Fragile. Lost. Crying somewhere outside. The driver froze. Out here? At this hour? That made no sense. The crying grew louder, closer. But something about it was wrong. The tone shifted, deepened, stretched. What had sounded like a child was becoming something else. Now it was unmistakable. A woman sobbing, broken, desperate, right outside the truck. The driver swallowed hard. Every instinct told him not to move, not to open the door, not to step outside. But what if someone needed help? Slowly, he rolled down his window. The cold air crept in, along with the sound. Louder now, closer, too close. His voice shook slightly. "Hey, you okay?" No response, just crying. He tried again. "Do you need help?" The crying stopped, instantly, like someone hit a switch. The silence returned, but this time, it was heavier. Then, a sound that didn't belong to this world. Laughter, low, twisted, mocking. It echoed through the fog, as if it came from everywhere at once. The driver's chest tightened. Because the laughter, it felt directed. Not random, not distant. It felt like it was laughing at him. The fog thickened, pressing closer to the truck, wrapping around it, like something alive, something watching, something waiting. His breathing quickened, hands gripping the steering wheel. He tried the ignition again. Nothing. The laughter grew louder, closer. For a split second, he thought he saw movement, a shadow shifting in the fog, too tall, too thin, not human. The laughter peaked. Then, silence, complete, sudden. The fog began to lift, slowly, like a curtain being pulled back. The road reappeared, the sky, the world. The dashboard flickered, lights returned. The engine roared back to life, as if nothing had ever happened. He didn't hesitate. The truck pulled back onto the road, speed increasing, heart still racing. He didn't look back, not once. Miles later, a truck stop appeared, bright lights, people, normalcy. He rushed inside, straight to the restroom. Cold water splashed across his face. He stared at his reflection, trying to make sense of it. Did it really happen? Was it exhaustion, a hallucination, or something else? Because out on those empty roads, there are things you don't see until they want you to. And sometimes they don't want help. They just want to know you're listening. If you drive alone at night and you hear something in the fog, don't answer.